Hey everybody, I'm really happy to be here in Dr. Jordan's office. He is going to be doing our sound design. There's Clint over there, one of our students. I'm interrupting his applied lesson. But Dr. Jordan is doing all the sound design for the Marching Southerners this year. And I know that some of our alumni may not be very familiar with that because we're still scratching the surface as far as getting into that with the Marching Southerners. But I'm going to let him explain just a little bit about what he's doing for us this year and show you that process.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually going to open up main stage. I just thought to do that. So yeah, one of the things that we do when we're kind of doing the sound design process is thinking about what we need from a synthesizer side of things. So with the music that we're doing this year, very orchestral, very soundtrack focused. So the first thing I want to do is figure out the timbres that we don't have with a marching band, and try to fill in those timbres as much as possible. A good example, we don't have, a whole string orchestra. So filling in the string voices is very important. We don't really have a piano except for our synthesizer, so that's going to be a voice we're going to use a lot. We don't have timpani, so we're going to just try to find some of these different timbres that we can kind of emphasize that help fill out the soundtracky orchestral nature of some of this within here. So if you can show the computer. So one of the programs we use is MainStage, and so everything you hear is going to be triggered off of MainStage. And you can kind of see how there's different layers and things like that, where it's going to show that in certain ranges there's certain instruments kind of helping out. So for example, if I click on this, you'll notice that I'm getting a staccato string sound and some timpani sounds as well within that. In the higher range, I might get a violin sound, and I might get choir kind of in the middle. So all the parts are written in a way within the score to be able to allow them to play all that by themselves. So a good example, this is kind of the big impact from the end of the show. I'm just playing it off an MP3 now, but it would be triggered through MainStage normally. So here's a good example of what we have.
And so to our listeners, this is just the first stage, right?
Yeah,
like,
this is
just scratching the surface, basically.
Exactly. So the first step of my process is to kind of fill in all the harmonic and melodic sounds that we have that we're missing in the show, missing from the instrumentation that we have. Then at that point, we'll go back and add kind of our more environmental or what I like to call Foley effects. So it's going to be things like a sample of lightning or a sample of fire or a sample of these other things. That's going to be more than kind of Foley effect. And then we have environmental sounds. It's going to be like something where maybe there's kind of like a rumbling in the background, something that's not directly harmonic or melodic, but just creating timbres. So we start with the synth, and then we kind of add the other layers as we kind of go along. A voiceover would be another kind of layer that we would add potentially within there. So all sorts of different layers that are going to kind of get us to what we need with the overall big picture part of it.
And so Dr. Jordan's also going to be teaching our students about this, because nowadays when you get out with a band directing degree, if you have a competitive marching band, this is a new part of the marching band that's very, very important, correct?
Absolutely. So this is one of those things that main stage and kind of this process is something that most high school bands, indoor drum lines, drum corps, you name it, use. A lot of this technology came from the musical theater world. So this is the same software you'd see being used in like Broadway tours of Hamilton, of you name it, musical tour. They're all using MainStage because it's designed for live performance. So usually it takes an electronics designer such as myself in this instance that's going to take and kind of design and program the sounds, and then you make it where it's playable by two synthesizer performers. So all those sounds can be produced by two people just by them playing their parts as notated.
Great. Well, we're so excited to have Dr. Jordan on board this year doing all this. And as you can see, our show is going to be a work in progress for several weeks. So every time you come out to hear the Marching Southerners, you're going to hear something new. You're going to see new visual ideas on the field. So we hope you enjoy this final product when we finish it. Thanks for joining in.